Okay, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to today's webinar, Navigating Disruption in 2020, Tapping into the Virtual RV Consumer. And I also want to thank RVDA for allowing RV Trader to speak today. Super excited for that. My name is Jennifer Green-Neff. I'm the Director of Demand Generation for Trader Interactive, and I'll be your webinar moderator today. Let's go ahead and walk through some quick housekeeping before we begin. If you need to make any adjustments to your sound during this presentation, you'll see audio controls in the webinar control panel. You have the option to toggle between using computer audio or phone call if you need to change that, as well as adjust your microphone settings and volume. If you think of any questions throughout this presentation, go ahead and enter them into the questions section of the control panel. And then when we get to the Q&A portion at the end, we'll be sure to answer your questions then. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce you to Paige Bouma, Executive Vice President of Sales and Operations at Trader Interactive. With 17 years in the RV industry and extensive experience in digital advertising, large-scale partnerships, customer service, and dealership consultation, Paige has proven to be an exceptional leader. Her professionalism combined with her passion for the RV industry has allowed her to consistently develop solutions that meet the needs of dealers of all sizes across the nation. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Paige.
Thanks, Jen. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to bring you insights on how we can succeed in a digital world, especially while we are beginning to navigate through uncertain economic times like the ones that we're facing today. So as we all know, COVID hit our economy quickly. An RV trader is trying to collect as much data as possible from our consumers, and then we're trying to make sure that we can help your dealership apply those insights so that you can adjust accordingly. I hope that the information that we bring you today will help you navigate the next few months and beyond. So I work for Trader Interactive, and we offer the largest audience of consumers searching for units that they want for their lifestyle and their livelihood. You know us best through RV Trader, but some of our other brands include Cycle Trader, Equipment Trader, Commercial Truck Trader, and we've got many more. And the reason that I mention this is because we have such a large volume of traffic to our site, we are able to obtain a considerable amount of data that we can use to capture and analyze buyers' behavior. So I want to chat through our current state of affairs. I mentioned earlier that COVID-19 has brought unprecedented challenges to our industry. Most of our states are forced our RV stores to operate under new social distancing guidelines. And although that we are facing challenges at this moment, with limited travel abroad options, the RV industry could be the answer to that adventure that so many Americans are currently looking for. And we will definitely understand that they are craving to get back to normal and to get out and be in an RV and have fun again. So just because some of our storefronts have had to shift their day-to-day operations, RV enthusiasts have not stopped dreaming or looking for their next RV. RV Trader has delivered 63,000 direct connections despite the COVID-19 challenges. And we saw our shoppers connecting with dealers on our site 20% more this March than we saw March of 2019. So today we're going to discuss how you can shift your way of thinking so that you can accommodate these digital buyers. All right, so I'm mentioning these digital buyers. Who are they actually? Buyers will consult 24 different resources during their path to purchase. That means consumers are no longer calling a business as soon as they decide to buy. They are doing the majority of their research first, and then by the time they contact you, they actually have their mindset on what they're looking for. And of those 24 resources that I mentioned, 19 of them are digital. So other than things like talking to their friends or their family, or maybe viewing an ad in a newspaper or on television, the other 19 methods that are used for research for researching and all of the touch points are happening online. That includes watching videos, seeing a digital ad, visiting your website, checking out your social media pages, reading online reviews, and there are more. And as buyers are now stuck in their homes due to COVID, their internet habits are only increasing. More than 75% of your potential customers are conducting internet research before generating a single lead. And this was actually prior to the outbreak, which has surely only accelerated this shift. And when I say shift, I do not mean that this is a temporary swing. As we come out of this, you're going to see that buyer behavior has permanently changed. So let's talk for a moment about the specific RV buyer. This is somebody that you are already familiar with. They're typically going to be a baby boomer who's married. They have kids who have already moved out of the house. They have disposable income, and they're near retirement. They're actually thinking about how they're going to spend that next chapter of their lives. But it's also important to note the RV renter. They are the opposite of your typical RV buyer. They're usually younger millennials. They're possibly married with children, and the majority of them have a job. I think this is especially important to note the RV renter during this time, because although America may be reopening soon, it is unclear when travel bans will actually be lifted and when we can kind of get out of this country and fly and do other things. So there are those that are looking for adventure outside of their normal vacationing, and they might be inspired to get off the grid with a really great option of RVing. So even during times of normalcy, we wanted to show you the similarities that your boomer and your millennial have in their screen time behavior. Okay, so let's break this down from the millennial to the boomer. Millennials being aged 25 to 44, and boomers are aged 55 to 75. So by age, let's take a look at your buyer's average screen time on their devices. Millennials are spending a total of 3 hours a day, every day, looking at their phone. Your boomer is spending an average of 2.8 hours on their phone every day. The difference between how much screen time a millennial is using on their phone and your boomer on their phone is only 12 minutes. Again, these stats that I just shared are all pre-COVID. So imagine how much this has even increased over the past month. We know that things are difficult right now, but as I mentioned, consumer buying habits are not changing. If anything, they are only spending more time on their devices. This time is increasing. So the tactics that you can employ that will set your dealership up for success, I wanted to share some of those with you. While focusing on your consumers, and most importantly, how are we going to make sure that you are still driving new sales? So first and foremost, keeping things as normal as possible during this time. But we need to make sure that you are making smart decisions, that you could eliminate some discretionary expenses. So review and possibly eliminate those unnecessary expenses. Right now is a great time to do that. So what could those be? Maybe it's coffee or magazine and newspaper subscriptions that are coming into your dealership. And then there are some luxury items that could be cut or even eliminated just temporarily. Implement strategic operational hours and work to set appointments to match your revised hours of operation. It not only will that help you cut down on your expenses, but it will also help you eliminate that risk of exposure of the COVID-19 virus. These services can also easily be added back once things return to normal. So let's talk about business hours. Regulation and information is changing daily. So you need to ensure that you are consistently and constantly updating and keeping your consumers informed of when you are available. Once the consumer has made their way to your dealership website, you want them to know exactly how they can contact you and when. And they want to know when they can expect to hear back from you. So if your information is not listed correctly, then they're likely to move on to another dealer who's going to state available hours and their inventory clearly. So you need to ensure that your inventory is listed accurately, because your website is now your showroom floor. And don't forget that you need to be updating your third-party marketplace virtual showroom, as well as any other platform where consumers can find you. This is actually a best practice in general, but now it is incredibly vital to update all of these platforms for your business. Keep communication open with your consumers, as well as your sales team. You are all in this together, and without their hard work, you may not be able to keep things moving. So ensure your sales teams are updating their automatic replies and their out-of-office responses, so that all information that they are sending out communicates your message accurately. So they're going to be communicating their new working office hours, your new COVID policies, and any new procedures you put into place. And you need to make sure your phones and all other communication methods are being monitored at all times. So here's a tip. Assign specific staff members with specific lines of communication, so you know that you will not be missing any leads that are coming through. So you can say, Sarah, you're on live chat. Bob, you've got email. And John, you are in charge of answering all texts that are coming through. Even though your showroom floor might be closed, there are ways to still ensure that your service and your sales operations will be running smoothly. As a dealer, your instinct may be to pull back on some new or creative services. The dealerships that are able to navigate disruption are the ones that will come out stronger when COVID-19 virus is contained and our businesses get back to normal. So with social distancing being our new norm, your customers will appreciate and respond to your dealership going above and beyond. Service is always an area that can differentiate you from your competitors. So let's give them that exceptional service to meet their current needs. But what can that look like? Why not offer a service that allows your customers to come in and test drive a new RV by appointment only? Allow customers to send a picture or use a scanning app to send a copy of their driver's license to you ahead of time. Have the RV ready to go, keys in the ignition, and then make sure that you're practicing safe social distancing when they get there. Or you could go as far as offering a test drive drop-off to your customers. Have customers decide when and where they would like to take the test drive. And then you can set clear instructions on how you're going to handle the pickup and the drop-off at those points. And ensure that your customers know that their safety is your absolute number one priority. Additionally, if a customer doesn't feel comfortable with an in-person test drive, that is absolutely not the end of the road. Use a video to help the customer inspect the unit before committing to that purchase. You can offer live virtual walkthroughs of the RV that they are interested in, so that they can see every single part of it. Let your customers set up a time that's convenient for them. Allow them to ask questions and show them specific parts of the unit so that there are absolutely no surprises. Be transparent about major areas of concern, whether it's the maintenance history. Show them the electrical, show them the awnings and the slide outs and how those work. You can go so far as even getting up on top of the roof and maybe showing them the AC unit. I get it. This may be more involved showing them this unit over chat, but it will show them your reliability, your transparency, and your commitment to getting them the best unit available. I know that doing all of this by video can seem strange, but I can personally tell you that I made a very large, expensive purchase myself, and we bought a fifth wheel, sight unseen, from another dealership outside of our state, just by looking through videos and the photos and them showing us this unit through videos. And it has been 2 years since we made this purchase, and I could not be any happier with the unit that we bought. So many consumers might not want to purchase a unit right now without being able to test drive it and without them coming into your dealership. So the next best option may be that you could take the unit directly to them and let them trial it for a few days. Make sure that you put clear limitations on the amount of hours or the miles that can be added to that vehicle. You want to have your own rules that you see appropriate that you give them. The goal here is not to allow people to have a free rental, but to have them to have a trial of this unit. You might also want to look at giving them a several-day money-back guarantee on a specific unit. Make sure that you are also highlighting that the interior of the unit has been deep cleaned before delivery. Again, with consumers practicing social distancing or having stay-at-home orders, coming into the dealership might be the last thing that they want to do. So ask yourself, are your technicians willing and able to make house calls? If so, they can practice safe social distancing. They can do that by taking information over the phone and then communicating when they get to the site from at least 6 feet away. The consumer doesn't need to actually be with your technician during the time when they're working on their unit. And when it is done, they can easily take the payment via mobile purchasing apps, such as a device maybe like Square. So let's also be resourceful here. Some of your consumers may be essential employees, such as a doctor, a nurse, firefighter, police officer, or even grocery store clerks. They may not be able to easily drop their unit off for servicing. Other customers who just want to be practicing that safe social distancing may not want to bring their RVs on site either. So could you also offer pickup for repairs? How could you do that? You could greet your customer at least 6 feet away at their front door. Do a quick handoff of the keys wearing gloves, or you could have them put the keys ahead of time in a secure location. And then you could take the unit, bring it back to your dealership. Once you have completed the repairs, you can bring it back to your customer's doorstep. When you're all done, you drop it off, everybody's happy and can move on. Most of the buying process can also be done online. You can attract them online to your dealership. But you can also sell a specific unit through pictures, descriptions, and videos. But putting pen to paper is going to be the biggest leap that you're going to have to take. However, your business model can quickly be adapted. You can use e-sign and the mail to send contracts and paperwork. That's actually the way that we did it 2 years ago. You can link to consumers' banks or even have them approved for financing through your dealership prior. And if your consumers are comfortable, you can offer to deliver the paperwork directly to them so that they can sign it in person. You can drop it off in their mailbox, or then you can wait there for them to sign it right then and there. There are options to make this work. It might just take a little bit out of the scope of what you are used to do it. Above all, be safe and be sure that you are not putting yourself or your employees' health at risk just for the sake of keeping business as usual. Allow your employees that can work from home to do so. Adjust your store hours or your employees' schedule to ensure you've got a smaller number of employees that are working at one time. Keep a clear record of who is working, what days they are working, and what department they are working in. That way, if someone does go out sick, you are able to easily isolate those that have worked around them. And make sure you are deep cleaning everything. Clorox is our friend these days. Even though your physical showroom floor might be closed, you still have ample opportunity to attract and engage new buyers into your business. This is the time to step up your digital marketing. While the next buyer is spending more time on their phone, let them see you and let them interact with your unit. So the first stat that you see here is pre-COVID. And it's already an impressive stat. Imagine how much this has increased in just over a month. Americans are checking their phones an average of 80 times a day. Woo! That is 80 touch points that you have the opportunity to connect with your consumer every day. And again, this is in times of normalcy. A more recent study showed that 73% of Americans are spending more time using their phones since they have been quarantined. As Google explains it, smartphones are the companion that people turn to. They're turning to it, to I want to know, or I want to go, or I want to do, and I want to buy moments throughout the day. Especially now, as consumers are going to be turning to their phones for news resources, for a grocery store, or for even entertainment. We've said it before, and it is even more relevant now than it ever has been. But your consumers are doing internet research before they even consider your dealership. So when they contact you, they expect to hear back from you as soon as possible. 64.5% of RV buyers want a response from a dealer within an hour, or at least the same day after contacting them. And 53% of buyers said that they would contact another dealer or give up completely if they do not hear back in that timely manner. In other industries, we have become accustomed to instant gratification and same-day deliveries. These consumer habits are transferring to our industries as well. In this new environment, you need to ensure that all information is up to date at your consumer's fingertips. The more ready they are to purchase, the easier your job is going to be. You need to ensure that you are giving your consumers as many ways as possible to contact your dealership through your listings and on your website. So during this time, you want to make it as easy as possible for your consumers to have more lines of communication to your dealership. This will open up to make yourself available and make it open for your people to come into your dealership, even if your doors are closed. So let's talk about these lines of communication. Got phone calls, emails, live chat, video chat, texting, and there's even more. I'm going to pause for a second here to mention that many providers are offering these services for free or at reduced rates during COVID. Take advantage of those. I understand that many of you may not be comfortable with all of these preferred methods of communication, but now more than ever, I cannot stress this enough that you need to be as available as possible to your consumers so they can reach out to you any way that they want to. So when we generally talk about email, it's typically in reference to checking your email leads. But given this sensitive time, this is a great opportunity for you to check in with your consumers via email to see how are they doing. Reach out to a new RV owner and see if they need help with servicing that unit. Or maybe just ask them if they have any questions about the new unit. Have they gotten to go out in it and try it out yet? You can follow up with your prospects to see where are they in their buying process and ensure them that you are going to be here to help them out to make the purchase when things get back to normal. This is a perfect time for you to humanize your dealership, meaning continue to build that relationship with your customers and with your prospects, and let them know that you actually really do care. You're probably already familiar with phone calls and email, and you use them regularly. But now, while your doors are closed, you need to open up, as I mentioned, as many lines of communication as possible. So live chat is a great resource, and 79% of consumers prefer chat because it is immediate. They're already browsing on their computers, and this feature lets them quickly ask you questions on your unit. Like, how many miles does this unit have? Maybe ask a little more detailed questions. How much water does it hold? What is the best truck to use for towing this? Does my truck work? And then they can also ask, when can I come in and when can I see this unit? And any other questions that they might have. Give them these touch points to show them that even though your doors are closed, you are still available to them. And then, as I mentioned earlier, designate people at your dealership to answer these questions, respond to inquiries, and be available during those chat hours. Again, this is another resource that you should be leveraging during COVID. I get that texting as a contact method can still be a new concept for many of our dealers, so let's talk about this. 97% of text messages are opened, and over half of the consumers say that they would be using text to discuss a specific unit with a dealer. So just like chat, these are leads that you could be missing out on if you are not available and do not have text as an option. So it might not be your preferred method of contact, but it is a consumer's preferred method. And we need to evolve with them, and we need to meet their needs. So during times of normalcy, you meet with your prospects in person. You take that time to develop a working relationship, and you show off your great expertise without a problem, face-to-face. And although email, chat, and texting offer great ways that you can connect quickly, one way to help replace that face-to-face contact is utilizing video chat. There are video apps that are out there, and video app downloads surged over 100% in March. Whew. Just because people are not able to meet face-to-face does not mean that they can go without that human connection. If a prospect agrees to a video chat, they are already considered a warm lead, as they are interested enough to have a face-to-face conversation with you. Video chat gives you direct exposure to your consumers. It allows you to build great rapport with them, show off your expertise and your personality. You can review all the ins and outs of your inventory and provide them with every angle and every part of the unit that they are interested in buying. So let's talk here about best practices around these communication methods. While some of the best practices might seem irrelevant, they are actually very, very important right now and can be a game changer for your dealership. So let's start with making sure you are designating the right people to connect with the consumers. Ask yourself this question: who is that in your dealership? And then set guidelines for them to respond in a timely manner. What are your expectations? We do not want buyers going somewhere else because we don't get back to them quickly enough. Make sure that you communicate with your salespeople about the importance of being professional, helpful, and informative. Use correct grammar. Remember that these communication channels like text and live chat are ways that you can set yourself apart from your competition, meaning that spelling, grammar, and appropriate wording is going to be paramount here. I once had a dealer in the automotive side get a little bit too friendly with me via text and say, "I got you, girl." With regard to finding me the right priced unit, you know what? It made me kind of feel uncomfortable. It was a little bit awkward, and I went somewhere else. And that is a true story. You want to make sure that you are always there to answer your consumers' questions. And if they have a question that your sales rep doesn't know right now, let them know. Be comfortable to tell the consumer, hey, I'm going to get back to you with this. And it also keeps that line of communication open. And then make sure that you are determining next steps while also ensuring them you're going to be practicing social distancing. So we mentioned earlier the importance of taking your physical showroom online. And one of the most important pieces and the easiest way to do this correctly is by honing your online listings. 91% of RV buyers say that listings are the most important part of their online search. And almost 100% of buyers value a detailed listing that shows them everything they need to know about the unit before contacting you. Again, these stats are pre-COVID. And now we know that people are online even more. They're even more important. It is vital that you are adapting your listings to accommodate the needs of your buyers. Your listings have to be better than ever before. Shoppers can no longer just visit your physical dealership. So now more than ever, your online inventory is your online dealership. So I want you to think about the word paid, to remember some best practices as it relates to setting up and updating your online listing. So, price, availability, images, and description. It's a simple concept. I'm going to go a little deeper into each one of these so you know exactly what to include in your listings so that you can get paid. There are a lot more factors that could be or not be in the price, and you have to be transparent about that. No one wants a surprise after they have settled on a unit to find out that it's going to cost more for all the extra things that they did not factor in. So include all of the additional pricing that comes with buying a unit so that consumers know exactly what they're going to have to pay for when they get their heart set on something. Listings that include a price perform better than listings without a price. Conversion rates are going to be higher, and listings with a price receive more engagement than listings that don't have a price. So don't lose a customer because you don't put a price. On RV Trader, we are also offering special features like make an offer. That way you can start a conversation with buyers all around pricing. And buyers continue to research and shop online now more than ever. And it's important to be available for those buyers. I reiterate, features like live chat or request a video chat allow you to engage with buyers and capture their attention while they shop our marketplaces. Now, this might seem redundant, but once you have activated these features, like live chat or request a video, you need to make sure that you are actually available. So if a consumer reaches out via chat or text and doesn't receive a response from you, they're going to go somewhere else. You also want to get consumers a realistic picture of your unit with well-taken photos that show off what makes it so impressive. Again, this may be the only way that they're going to be viewing your unit right now. So you want to make sure that you're showing them everything. And be honest, if there is damage, you want to make sure that you are upfront and you are showing them and telling them everything about this unit. So upfront, show them every scratch, every dent, or every little issue. You absolutely do not want this buyer to be surprised. And have your staff spend their spare time filming 360 videos of this unit. Do some walk around. This is going to help create the visual when consumers cannot come into your lot and see the unit for themselves. It also helps to humanize your dealership as your staff can walk them through this unit through the video and show their personalities. So now, let's draw in this buyer. Put everything out there so the buyer does not even need to think about going somewhere else. Highlight the capabilities of each unit. Here's some pro tips. To help expedite the process, you can create some templates of everything that you want to make sure is included in the listing. So you want to include the miles, the make, the year, the uses for this unit, and the condition. So as you are posting them, you can quickly go through each one and make sure that you are adding these to your listing and you are being consistent. So now let's also utilize retargeting to extend the reach of your listings. Retargeting is valuable because unlike traditional advertising that displays to a broad audience, retargeting allows you to focus your ad spend on consumers that you know already have some degree of interest in your product or your services. I know that right now you need to be very smart with your advertising dollars. What a better way to spend your money on the folks that you know you can keep in your sales funnel. So how does retargeting work? A user visits your website or your third-party site, but your ad is now shown to them again and again across other websites. As our consumers are spending more time online, you can use retargeting to keep them warm and keep them interested in your unit. Let's talk about social media. Contrary to popular belief, social media is an incredible resource that extends beyond teenagers and silly memes. In fact, the average American is spending 3 hours a day on social networks. And Facebook recently reported seeing record-breaking activity on their site at the beginning of COVID. So with your consumers turning to Facebook, they're communicating with friends, they're staying informed. Maybe they're looking back on old vacations. You can reach out to them there and you can create a humanization of your brand. 71% of consumers who have had a positive experience with a brand on social media are likely to recommend the brand to their family and their friends. Your dealership is your brand. So this will allow you to become part of that mix. So here's a question. What can you post in order to gain traffic? Take some inspiration from your OEMs and how they're posting. So let's take a look at some of Winnebago's posts, for example. Winnebago has been posting about their factories and having produced over 6,000 medical masks. You can repost that and spread that positivity and that good news about your manufacturers. Share posts about safety while operating an RV. The RVDA has been posting a lot of great content that you can reshare on how RVers can stay safe while enjoying the open road. Share podcasts and YouTube videos that consumers will find interesting. RV Lifestyles have had recent podcasts where they are having several key industry leaders throughout the RV sector, and they're talking about what they're experiencing right now. And look at industry leaders and relevant companies to see what they're posting during COVID. And then ask yourself, maybe ask your employees too, what would be relevant information for you to share with your consumers? So let's touch on videos specifically. It's not hard to imagine why video is so popular these days. In fact, 1/3 of all online activity is spent watching videos. With consumers searching for units outside of their typical business hours, you want to be sure that you can deliver exactly what they're looking for at the most convenient time for them. And that's where videos come in. Video your unit and leverage your personality of your sales team. It's going to provide engaging content for consumers and also, again, humanizing your brand. Here are a few best practices around videos. In addition to pictures, be sure you are leveraging videos on your listings. The more angles you show, the better equipped your shoppers will be to make informed decisions. Showcase videos on your social media channels. Yikes, I can't get that word out. They can be specific to the listings, or they can also be anything that you want them to be about your dealership. Your goal should be to cultivate relationships with your audience utilizing videos. Share videos that introduce your team members, or you could do some really quick little YouTube videos to share your expertise. One of the easiest ways to plan for posts on social media is to create a schedule or a calendar. Followers will look forward to seeing your regular posts. This will allow you to plan your social media, which will make your life easier when you have a calendar and you can plan for it. So how often should you be posting? Well, you can pick what you can handle. Is it every day? Is it every 2 days? While people are at home, they are craving new content. So leverage your employees to help you create some of this content. You can share sales promotions that you are currently running during COVID-19. Be sure to also plan for some flexibility. We know that things are changing daily, so be ready to let your customers know about every update that you have in your dealership. So don't just be stuck to your schedule. You're going to miss out on some authentic opportunities to engage with your audience. So let's recap. Some best practices for social media can include determining the platforms that you want to be on, from Facebook to Instagram to LinkedIn, whether it's Twitter or any others that you think work best for your specific customers. Whatever platform you choose, make sure that you keep them up to date with your store operation hours. Engage with your followers and respond to all comments, both positive and negative. Share interesting content on a regular basis so that your followers keep coming back and see you as a trusted resource. Right now, you have a real opportunity to engage with customers that are online in every channel, every platform, and you need to be leveraging those. So let's fast forward. You've employed all of these great methods from today's webinar. But how do you know what is working? Reporting tools are more imperative now than they have been ever before in setting your goals and creating successful digital dealerships. Remember, as you open all lines of communication, it is extremely important to monitor leads that come through your website or third-party advertising sites. Each and every lead that comes in is valuable, and you should look at them as a potential sale. Ensure each lead that comes in, regardless of the channel, is followed up on immediately, and your sales teams are nurturing each of those leads. I cannot drive this home enough. Following up on leads, it is so important. It's easy and it's a simple concept. And your team needs to be sure that they are capable of doing so. Continue to look at your metrics and make sure that you know what your consumers are actually looking for. The better you can monitor your consumers' behavior during this time, the better you can tailor your marketing mix to them specifically. At RV Trader, we have a feature called lead enrichment that actually tracks buyers' shopping behaviors. And then it is attached to every one of your leads in your lead notifications, so you know what else they are looking for. These types of data should help you to analyze and understand how you should be shifting your digital tactics accordingly. Right now, it is crucial to make sure that all of your marketing dollars are providing value. Be sure to take advantage of any reporting services that you have access to. And absolutely use this time to monitor your performance and see where you can improve. Right now, you might have a knee-jerk reaction to want to cancel advertising spend, and I get that. You're thinking cut costs, but be mindful of the platforms that are working and driving leads directly to your dealership. This is also beneficial so that you can manage your leads while you are working remotely. Even if you are not in your office, these tools are absolutely still available for you. So to wrap up, let's go over some key takeaways from all of the best practices that I have shared today. 73% of consumers said that they are spending more time using their mobile phones. More than 75% of potential customers are conducting online research before generating a single lead. Get creative with services and test drives that you can help create to continue to bring in revenue. Open all lines of communication, including email, texting, live chat, that video chat that we talked about. I cannot stress this enough. And then hone your online listings to continue to attract new buyers and help you to get paid. Utilize social media to engage with your customers and help bring your brand's personality and life to ultimately humanize your dealership. And the most important takeaway that I want to reiterate, which I mentioned at the very start of today's webinar, is how important virtual retailing and your digital presence is, but how especially important it is right now in this economy that we are facing. The more and more people are relying on methods of digital communication, so you need to be there in front of them. Remember to consider the needs of your customers and keep up with current demands. Get creative, be innovative, and continue to grow sales by following these best practices. And now I'm going to pass this back over to Jen to share some of the resources, and we're going to also at this point start a Q&A portion of our webinar. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Whoop. Yep, thank you so much for all of those helpful tips, Paige. Before we dive into questions, we know the current economy is on your mind, and at RV Trader, we're here to help. We've created an entire virtual retailing resource center at rvtradermediakit.com. This resource center includes guides, trend reports, videos, and articles, all aiming to help you and your dealership cope with these turbulent times. Again, you can visit rvtradermediakit.com to view those resources. We'll also send you an email after today's presentation with this link included, as well as the recording of the webinar. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the Q&A. If you haven't had a chance at this point to enter a question into the questions section of the control panel, go ahead, now's your chance. Let's see if we've received any questions. One of the first ones, what is one thing you think RV dealers should be doing right now?
Sure. We should all be doing this actually right now. We should be going through our database of all of our customers and even prospects, and we should be reaching out to them, not necessarily to sell them something, but just to check in on them. It's really important right now that we are reaching out and we are letting people know that we are available to them and that we are here to help in any way that we can.
Great.
All right, any others, Jen?
Yep. How many listings do you see with videos? How long should videos be? And should we feature a salesperson or just a voice?
Videos. The more the merrier. People want to see that walk around of an RV. They want as much detail as possible before they reach out. And so they're really going to be using video to get a good visual of this unit. I 100% think you need to be featuring your salespeople. It adds a great personalization, and it's going to show your expertise as a dealership. This way you can give them recommendations. You can, again, show them all the ins and outs of the unit. And it really, again, just creates that personalization, and it brings some humanization to the specific unit and to your dealership. Have fun. All right, Jen, any others?
A couple, and feel free, guys, as you think of something, to go ahead and enter your questions into the chat box. Is this being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. We'll go ahead and send this out. I think you'll get an email tomorrow. We have another question. Is there any way we can access the data from the RV consumer survey?
So we actually have a lot of data that we are receiving through COVID, all the data that we're pulling together. We have a lot of that in fact sheets that we are creating specifically for our dealers, and your direct salesperson has all of that information and can send that to you directly on a weekly basis. Okay. Hopefully that will be helpful.
Yeah. What is the best social media to use? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, etc.
I think it really depends on your consumers. And I would say you want to pick one or two that you can be really good at. I'd rather people pick a few to do a really great job than try to do them all. So really start to think about your consumers and where you see them already interacting. I think Facebook is obviously a great opportunity. You can use Instagram to put up a lot of your photos of the specific unit, or even the videos of the specific units that you have. LinkedIn is also a good one, a little bit different. But those are the ones that I would say are your best bet.
Okay. Do you have any recommendations for canned video? The manufacturers offer very little. We have 500 plus RVs.
I do usually say the best is to work directly with your manufacturer if they already have videos. But if they don't, you can also hire somebody. There's a lot of people that are out there that are looking for work right now. So maybe you could even hire somebody that's in college, or during the summer they're home from school, that could come out and take some of these videos for you. That's always a good option.
Okay, here's another one. Do you think pushing sales promotions online will receive negative feedback in a time like this where people may not be working or are looking at their finances closely?
I really don't, because I think a lot of people are looking specifically in the RV industry for an alternative way to travel. And we are seeing our traffic has been increasing with people looking online right now for specific units. So I think it's a great time. They're looking for a deal right now, right? And they want to know what are some of the offers that are out there. I also think it's a great time to talk about some financing offers that could be available for them. They want as much information as possible. So I think putting those offers out right now is a great time to do that.
Great. Okay. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. All right. Thank you all again for being a part of this webinar. Feel free to reach out to us at marketing@traderinteractive.com. We're happy to hear feedback on this webinar, answer any additional questions you have surrounding the current economic state, and help you perfect your digital strategy during these times and beyond. Thanks again to the RVDA for having us, and to all you do, and I'm sorry, for all of you who have tuned in. Stay safe and take care. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.